Hey there YouTube, how's it going? Chaotix here. Gonna do a deck tech with you with my new standard. Running Izzet Aggro. So we're gonna start with a land base here. 4 copy of Steam Vents. 4 copy of Sulphur Falls for the time being as rotation becomes nearer and nearer. Then we're followed up by basic lands. We've got 5 islands, we've got 5 mountains, grand total of 18 lands. I can get away with 18 lands because all of our spells are fairly cheap to cast. Getting into our creatures here, we're going to be running Delvers. Again, rotation's coming up, so I don't know what I'm going to replace that with quite yet. But for the time being, they're a perfectly good creature for this deck. A perfectly weird creature for this deck, Vexing Devil. I know, nobody plays it, it's unplayable, blah 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 blah. I don't play it as a 1-drop. I actually play that as a 3 or 4-drop. I get in for so much damage so fast normally that dropping one of those offers a really hard exchange for my opponents. So I take the 4 damage, he's got unblockable, maybe not. So it does actually hold itself fine in this deck. Another 2 of in here, and our 2-drop is Augur of Bolas. I didn't want to flood out my deck, constantly rearranging my cards. I don't normally need to be digging for anything. Everything normally comes up, and it has 3 toughness, so that's nice. Into the 3 drops, we got Gutter Snipes. Gutter Snipe nets me a bunch of damage because a lot of our spells are so cheap. And the star of the show, 4 copies of Nivix Cyclops. My favorite card in Dragon Maze, bar none. I was so happy to see it when it spoiled. I was so excited to play around it, and now I am. The spells for the deck, obviously, we're going to have Artful Dodge. Pump Up and Unblockable all in the same spell, and a flashback of 1. It's ridiculous. Also running Teleportal. Again, Unblockable is the way to go with the Cyclops. And the Overload cost late game to be able to have 2 Cyclopses on the board, maybe a Vexing Devil, equals a whole lot of damage. Another weird one is Reverberate. I don't know why more people are not playing Reverberate. I love this card right now. Being able to copy things like Bonfires and Sphinx's Revelations and all these other mass instance and sorcery spells that my opponents would normally be playing, it changes the game right there as soon as they see it, because they realize that they're not really going to get any advantage out of these big cards like Sphinx's Revelation, and they never ever expect a Reverberate to come. Searing Spear, early game removal and late game finisher. Got a couple copies of Unsummon in case I have to remove something that costs more than 3. That clears the way for me, and for 1 mana pumps up my Cyclops, right? Turn and Burn for your fun things like Thragtusk, so they lose value out of that. And then some utility. Inaction Injunction allows me to stall one of their creatures out for a turn. The card replaces itself because I get to draw a card, and it pumps up my Cyclops. Thought Scour, again, replaces itself, so I get to dig into my spells. It only costs 1 mana, pumps up my Cyclops. I could care less about the mill. It does what I need it to do. Our last 3rd strange addition is Fling. So I cast a Cyclops, I cast Thought Scour, I cast a Teleportal, it's unblockable, swing in for 7 damage, and then fling it for 7 damage. 14 damage. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Ralzeric, it's Izzet. How can you not play the Izzet Planeswalker? A couple of free lightning bolts in the middle, and being able to untap things when I want them to for blocks after an attack is fine. And Rune Chanter's Pike. Why not? Offers me first strike, so I get to keep up some cheap early game blockers if I can equip it soon enough. That's good enough for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave your comments below. Let me know what kind of changes you think I should make when rotation comes. I will already say that there's a good friend of Gutter Snipes coming in. I believe his name was Young Pyromancer in M14. Might take over the 2-drop. Haven't decided yet, but it will be play tested with. Other than that, yeah, let me know. Cheers.